Hey, my loves, welcome to episode 4 of Blooming Through Growing Pains. I am so excited to be back. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a minute just because I uploaded my last episode so early on in the week. I feel like it's been a really long time, but it really hasn't. It's just I uploaded that episode so early. Um, Before I get into this episode, I want to start off by saying I've heard your feedback and I've heard that you guys wanted to actually see my podcast in a video. So I'm recording this one and I'm going to post it. Hopefully, I will keep you guys updated. I'm still a little nervous about it because I'm not used to it, but let's try something new. Get out of my comfort zone, as I always say. But today's topic is friendships, and especially friendships in your 20s, and how much it changes, and just how toxic it can be, and how hard it can be to time manage your friendships, and just all that stuff. So let's get right into it. First off, I want to say my friendships have changed so much over the years. I had a big friend group in high school that I'm still really close to, but they were more like my family to a point because we grew up together. A lot of them, I've known them since I was in middle school, elementary, and we were really close. We did a lot of stuff together all the time. We had so much time on our hands in high school that we would do everything together. Every weekend we would hang out, we would have Friendsgiving, just a bunch of stuff that we would do. And when I got into college, I realized I have no time for any of that anymore. And they don't have time for that anymore. And it was so hard for me to realize, my friendships are changing. I'm going to see these people a lot less than I do now. And it was hard for me. I cried a lot. I would tell my mom, I'm really sad. I feel like I have no friends anymore. I feel like they're not my friends anymore. And they were. They still are. I just had a lot of more things on my hands and I didn't have time to see them as I usually do. And it was really hard for me to cope with that and to understand that. Um, I have this thing that I wrote down in my notebook that I heard from um, this one girl that was talking about friendships in her 20s, and I was like, wow, that is a great way to put it. So I wanted to bring it to you guys and just kind of talk a little bit about it. She said, when we're growing up and when we're kids, our friends, we experience life together. That's the first thing I have written down. And then when we grow up, we experience life apart. We just choose to share updates with each other. Mind blown. The way that I never thought about it like that, I was in shock. We experience life together when we're growing up, so we have no choice but to experience it together because we're in school together. All our main events, we go to them together. And then when we grow up, we have different lives and we experience life apart and we just choose to communicate about it with each other. And I was like, wow, you know, that explains a lot. We choose to want to be friends with somebody. Now it's not like we're forced to be friends with them in high school or middle school, but we're in the same environment with them all the time. And now that we're growing up and that we're in college, we have work, we have different environments. We're not in the same place all the time. And thinking about it like that makes so much more sense. That's why it gets so much harder, is because we have to find the time ourselves to communicate with this person about our life. And it's hard to find that time. It's really hard because we are always so busy. At least I am. I have school, I have college, I have classes from really early in the morning to really late in the afternoon. Then I have work. Then I have to come back home and do homework and study and then go to bed and do it all over again. And it's really hard to find time to be with the people you love and the friends you love. And sometimes those friendships end up dissolving. And if they do dissolve, this is something I've learned a lot about, and my mom has told me so many times, let them dissolve. Does not mean that they're bad people or they're bad friends. It just means that they were meant to be a chapter in your life. And that chapter is done. And you need to let it go. And it's something that I found super hard to deal with because I take a lot of pride in my friendships. I put a lot of effort into them. And sometimes it's hard for me to just say, this person is amazing, but they were just meant to be this little chapter in my huge book of my life. And I need to let it go and I need to close it, and it's okay. And the memories are beautiful and they're always going to be there, but it's time to move on. And this is something that I had to realize myself, it's not a bad thing. It's just life, and that's part of life. And life is a roller coaster. And I know it's so cliche to say, but it really is. There's a lot of ups, there's a lot of downs, and you need to find people that will stick with those ups and those downs, because sometimes there's people in your life that are so good, that are in such a good stage of their life. They're making great money, they're super successful, and sometimes you're in a really shitty part of your life, Sometimes you're broke, you are trying to figure everything out, you're finishing school, so you have no time, and you have to find people that even when they're in their highs and you're in your lows, they'll still care about you, and they'll still be there about you with you. I'm sorry. They'll still be there with you. And it's really hard because jealousy is a really big thing. Sometimes when you're doing your best and your friends doing their worst, there can be a lot of jealousy in between, and that's so toxic. I feel like in friendships, jealousy cannot be a thing. I've never been jealous over a friend. I've always, been like, wow, she's doing so good. I am so proud of her. I want her to keep going. I've never been like, wow, I hate that she's doing so good. She shouldn't be doing so good. Like, I want to be doing that good. That's so toxic. Like, and I found people in my life doing that. Like, I found people being like, you know, it's great that you're doing this, but these are your flaws. They've pointed out my flaws, and not in a way that they're trying to make me better, in a way that they're trying to bring me down. And that's something that I've realized, I don't need that. You need to go away. Like, these friendships that are created by jealousy and created by one-upping each other, toxic, dissolved, goodbye, away. We do not need those types of people in our lives. And that's something that I've had to, realize. Not everybody's a good person. And it's hard because you want them to be a good person, but sometimes people come into your life to destroy it. And it's so horrible to hear that, but it's so true. Like, sometimes people are like, they're doing so good, I want them to do worse than me. I'm going to come in and I'm going to distract them and push them away from their goals. And that's when you have to realize, no, you're not coming into my life. Maintain your peace. That is so important. Your peace is above everything else. And that's something I was talking to my friend about recently. I told him, I am only going to allow people to come into my life if they're going to add on to my peace and to my happiness. If they don't, and I've realized that they're only giving me anxiety and just making me feel bad about myself, goodbye. And it's been so hard for me to get to this point to realize, I'm the most important thing in my life. Me and my friends and my family are the most important things in my life. If you're going to come in to destroy my peace and to distract me, I'm not allowing you. And that's something that is important to create. It's boundaries and communication with people. If you set your boundaries and you communicate with them and you tell them, look, this is where I'm at in life and this is what I want in my life, if you're not going to add on to it, you're not allowed into it. And that's something that I've learned from people around me. My best friend, Maddie, we have great communication, and that's something I'm so proud of. I love her so much, and I've learned to communicate a lot through her, because in the beginning of our friendships, I was very sensitive, and I thought because she wasn't only always physically there, um, that she didn't love me and that she wasn't my friend. And she came up to me one day and was like, listen, Kat, I'm a busy person. I'm not always physically going to be there for you, and you have to understand that. And it does not mean I don't love you, but I just have a lot going on in my life. And she was the first person who actually came and talked to me like that. Doesn't mean I don't love you, just means I'm busy. You have to understand that. And that's when I started learning boundaries and just space and communication. These things are so important in a friendship. It's so important to communicate your boundaries with somebody and let them know, this is what I need in my life. And if you can't understand that, you just can't be a part of it. And my friend Maddie, I love her to death. We go months without talking. Not months. I wouldn't say months. I can't go months without talking to her. We go weeks on weeks without talking. Could be a month. Because she's at such a different stage of her life than I am. I'm in school, I'm in college, I'm about to finish here in December. Congratulations to me. Haha. And she is traveling around the world. She's a yoga teacher. She's really, really busy, and so am I. And we need to learn how to time manage our friendship into each other's life. As I said before, experience life apart, but choose to communicate it with each other. And it's something that I've grown so much through is my friend Maddie. We've grown so much with each other and have learned, we love each other and we're always going to be there each other for each other, even if we're at different parts of our life and even of the world, different parts of the world. Um, Another thing I wrote down is space. I'm the type of person, I don't know if you guys are, that I've learned that my personal space and my time alone is very important to me. And I've communicated this to my friend Ray. I know she's listening. Hi, Ray. I love you. Um, Sometimes with her, I feel like I have to say, today I need my time alone. And she's amazing. She's learned to understand it. But in the beginning, I didn't really communicate that with her. I would just disappear for like 2 days and she'd be like, did I do something wrong? No, she didn't do anything wrong. I'm just the type of person that appreciates my time alone a lot. And I've learned to communicate that with her and tell her, today I'm feeling like I need to be by myself. I need to have a self care day and go to the beach alone and be alone and just, be in my thoughts. And it's really important for me. And she's amazing. She's learned, that's just Kat. She needs to be alone for a couple days. And if you're like that, learn how to communicate that with somebody. Because just like any type of relationship, they're not mind readers. They're not going to know what you're feeling. So, let them know, hey, I need to be alone today. I need to be in my own thoughts and process my feelings. And I'm sure if they love you and they're your real friends, they will understand. And that's just a really important thing about being a friend is to understand the people around you. Um, but yeah, and then the last thing I wrote down in my notebook to speak about today, because this is not going to be a very long episode, is quantity is not quality. So important. Just because somebody has a huge group of friends does not mean that they're their actual friends. Some people just like to, post that they have so many friends and that they're doing all this stuff that it can be true, but doesn't mean that they're real friends. Just because you have a big group does not mean that they actually love you. Sometimes you can have two friends, and those two friends are the best for you. They're your whole world, and they love you so much and will always be there for you. And that's sometimes all that you need is one or two friends. And I've had to realize that because I've always been the type of person that likes a huge group of friends. And I've noticed that sometimes that big group of friends aren't even actually my real friends. Like they're just people in my life that are there for a chapter and that are trying to, you know, feed off of you, sometimes feed off of your energy, and it's not healthy. So, quality, quantity, here we go. My Spanish and my English have been getting mixed up so much lately. Quantity is not quality. You don't need a big group of friends to feel loved. Sometimes it's only that one person that's there for you, and that's all that matters. And yeah, friendships, it's so complicated and it's like any type of relationship. It's just sometimes it can be even more complicated than a romantic relationship because you have to learn how to communicate with each other and how to set boundaries just as a romantic relationship and just even as family. Friendships can turn into family even more than your biological family, and sometimes it can be really hard and really complicated to deal with, but that's all I really had to say for today. I just wanted to come on here and give an overview of what I felt these past couple days, what I've been feeling about my friendships and about learning how to, I don't even know how to put it, learning how, I have a brain fart. Learning how to deal with friends and how to manage friends, manage time. What is going on with me? I'm sorry. I'm not even going to cut this out, just so you guys can see how much I struggle with speaking sometimes. Learning how to communicate with your friends and how to set boundaries. I'm just going to keep it at that because right now my brain is not working. I have not eaten anything since this morning and I need food. I ordered First Watch on Uber Eats and I'm currently waiting for it. But other than that, I really just hope that you guys are having a great week and that you guys had a great Thanksgiving. It's Christmas time. Christmas is coming. I'm going to go listen to some Christmas music and eat some food. I do not know what is going on with my words right now. But I hope you guys had great Thanksgiving, great week, and I'll see you guys next time on Blooming Through Growing Pains. Hopefully I post this. Love you guys. Bye.